Everything that stands has to rest on something. Stone stacks on stone, roots grip the dirt, a branch grows out of the trunk. That's the rule. And it's older than we are. But at some point, we broke it. We took the massive weight of rooms, roofs, whole cities of wood, and somehow trusted it all to one tiny piece of metal we wedged in between. Something so small it disappears between two fingers, so ordinary that nobody's really looked at one in years. A nail. Oh, and almost everything we've built started right there. Wait a minute. What was I even thinking about? Right, I just hung a picture frame on the wall. But my whole building is concrete and steel, so how can a nail be the thing the world stands on? I'm looking around the room now. The walls aren't held by nails, that's for sure, but the shelf is standing. The door frame is standing. The floor under my feet is right where it should be. There are thousands of these little things in this house, hidden inside the walls, and not a single one crossed my mind until I picked up the hammer. So something I never even see is holding everything together. Wonder how many are in this room? 100? 1,000? I'd lose my mind if I tried to count them. No, there's something else here. I don't think this is about the nail. Where do I even start? Yeah, I keep saying it was always like this, but it wasn't. There were no boxes of perfectly identical pieces back then. There was fire, an iron rod, and someone's hand, each one hammered out one by one, taking actual minutes. Man, I would not want to be a blacksmith back then. I mean, he's swinging all day, and at the end, he's got a handful of nails. That's why nobody threw them away back then. When an old house came down, they pulled the nails out one by one, straightened them, and used them again. Every single one had a different hammer mark that day. It's like it's still in there. Thinking about that brings up another question, though. Was it always that valuable? Ah, Scotland, that Roman fortress up there. Around the year 87, a huge legion is pulling out of there. And before they leave, they dig an enormous pit and bury something. If it was gold, I'd get it. I mean, it's just a nail. Turns out, someone later actually sat down and counted every single one. 875,000. And change. They intentionally buried about 7 tons of iron in the dirt, so it was just worthless to them. No, wait. If it was worthless, why spend time burying 7 tons of it? Because it wasn't a building supply to them. Melt it down, and it's a weapon. So into the ground it goes, where the locals won't find it. A whole army refusing to leave nails behind. They walk away from the fortress. They leave the walls, but they can't leave the nails. So, 7 tons of iron, hidden away like a secret. And this morning, I dropped one on the floor. I was too lazy to pick it up. Almost kicked it under the rug for a second. But I couldn't. It's sharp. Someone would step on it. So I bent down and picked it up. The very thing armies used to hide is now just something I pick up so nobody bleeds. Seriously, when did that even happen? Armies were hiding them, sure. Oh, there's America too. 1600s. They passed an actual law. A family moving on didn't need to burn the house for its nails anymore. The colony would just hand them new ones. Because back then, people would leave the house, but they'd never leave the nails. A law written not for the house, but for the nails inside it. Armies burying them on one side of the world, laws being written for them on the other, all for the same little thing. So where did all that value go? I always assumed it was the factories. Machines came, things got cheap. But no, I think it started earlier, with the name. In 15th century England, the demand got so massive that people stopped counting them one by one and started selling them by the 100. And whatever 100 of them cost, that just became the name. 10 penny, 8 penny. At the market, nobody was saying, "Give me the well-hammered one," anymore. They just said, "Give me the 10 penny kind." Even today, at the hardware store, they'll say 16D. And that D, oh, that's denarius. The Roman coin, a price tag from 500 years ago, still living inside that name. I just set it down on the table for a second. It doesn't even make a sound, really. It's weird. Once a thing starts going strictly by its price, nobody really looks at how it's made anymore, I guess. The price gets remembered, the face gets forgotten. And after that, things went the way they go. Machines come along, and these things start pouring out in buckets. There used to be craftsmen who would carve thick beams to fit perfectly into each other. Houses that stood tall without a single nail. Just tight joints, but with a bucket of cheap metal sitting right there. Who's going to spend time on joinery? Thin boards side by side. One hit, done. Nobody bothers with joinery anymore. I think they first tried this around Chicago. Houses made of thin boards started going up in a matter of days. And then moving west, streets, towns, a whole growing country, all of it built on a bucket of nails. Whole families heading out in wagons back then, not carrying a heavy craft with them, just a bucket of nails and a hammer. And that was all anyone needed now. I pick it back up. Cold, light, lighter than a coin probably. Hold on a second though. I keep saying a whole world stands on this thing, but I don't actually know how it holds. I'm looking at it right now. It's smooth. No threads, no lock. It's not glue, so how does it hold boards that are heavier than I am? If it was a screw, I'd get it. The thread locks it in place. If it was glue, I'd get it. But it has none of that. So the nail must be incredibly strong. It just crushes its way through the wood. No. If it crushed the wood, it wouldn't hold. Driving it in is actually tearing the fibres apart. The fibres bend, and then they try to close back up around the wound. The wood doesn't want it there. It keeps pushing outward against it. The nail isn't the strong one. The house is standing on that constant push. Can we even call that holding? And wood gets tired too, after a while. That squeak in old floors. The thing we call the house settling. That's just the wood letting go of something. Slowly. So wood lets go. We blame the wood. But what do modern buildings do? Oh, data centers. The biggest ones in the world today are built without nails. Why? Because when they build them, the day they'll be taken apart is already drawn into the plans. Building it and taking it down, they're on the same drawing. A whole building with not a single nail in it. And nobody walking through it would ever notice. From a thing buried like a secret to a price hidden in a name, to buildings designed to be dismantled, a nail is still a nail. But the hands using it, they aren't the same hands anymore. No, something doesn't sit right here. Sure, something was given to us, but something also left. What we gained is obvious. Building a house used to be a craft that took years. Now anyone holding a hammer can put one up. Millions of people found a roof over their heads because of it. But what did we lose? The hands that knew how to carve joints, for one. They say houses used to be built with grandchildren in mind. Now they're drawn around the day they come apart. They're both houses, but they don't feel like the same house. And I don't think it stops at houses either. A person used to build one or two big things in their entire lifetime, so every swing of the hammer had a thought behind it. Now everything gets built, unbuilt, moved around all the time, and nobody even bothers looking back at any of it. I keep saying everything just comes apart now. I looked in the mirror the other day. It was weird. It was me, but it wasn't the same me. Now I've got this hammer, trying to force something to stay put, just to make it hold on, I guess. Kind of feels like the same thing, just can't put a name to it yet. I don't know. Maybe that's ridiculous. But I'm stuck with this one question. I'm looking at this nail one last time, about to drive it into the wall. And it's weird. I always thought the choice was mine. Maybe I didn't make this choice just now. Maybe this choice was made a long time ago. Am I driving this piece of metal into the wall right now? Or did it drive me here a long time ago? Just to live exactly like this. Oh, I should really get back to work. But everything I just nailed down is standing on something I've never even thought about. The ground. This whole city sits on concrete, and the concrete sits on the ground. Okay, so what's under that? What's underneath all of it? I've honestly never looked. I guess that's what's next. Honestly, I wish people would just write down what they're thinking below so I could read it. It's actually pretty fun. Some wild ideas come out of there. Getting obsessed with ordinary things and following them wherever they go. Mr. Epically Ordinary. Did my brain just drop an ad on me? Anyway, my brain already works like this anyway, so I think I'll be sticking around. Maybe you will too. Take care of yourselves. And next time there's a hammer in a hand, maybe it's worth taking one quiet second to stop and think, who is really driving what into its place?